All right. Hey, everybody. Sean Hicks here from CRCO, hanging out with Mr. John Braddock, whose mute is not on, so we can hear him this
Hopefully.
time. You're good this time. Special weather update. I'll quit talking. John, it's all you.
Well, good afternoon, Sean. If you looked out the window, you notice it's cold, it's snowing, and that's going to continue for a bit this afternoon and into tomorrow morning. It might actually pick up a little bit this afternoon into tomorrow morning. So, interestingly, National Weather Service has a winter weather advisory out for the rest of today until about 1 a.m. Tuesday morning, and that's for an additional 4 to 8 inches of snow in some areas. I think going to be pretty spotty if you see the higher end of that, but that's what we're looking at. And the rest of the week is looking pretty active as well. We have another storm slated to roll in late Wednesday into Thursday and could last into Friday morning. And models are picking up on that one. Could be a little bit more significant in the snowfall arena than this one, so we'll just have to keep an eye on it. But very, very active weather pattern. Hopefully we're looking at a little bit more calm weather conditions this weekend. Should be a little bit nicer, and then in the long range we'll just have to kind of keep an eye on more weather systems swinging through. So fun time. It's spring in Colorado, and I hear a lot of man, I wish we could get to spring. Well, this is spring. We get our snow in the spring here in Colorado.
Yeah, right. And if you guys have any questions for John, we'll be on for a few minutes. Post them in the comments. I'll try to read them as I see them. I'm hanging out in the Castle Rock Talk Facebook group, but monitoring the comments kind of throughout the different pages and everything we're on. So, John, how much more can we expect from this snowstorm? It looks like it's snowing pretty good outside still.
Yeah, so highest amounts are going to be just south and west of Denver. So the foothills, the western parts of Douglas County, that's where I think you'll have the best shot of that 4 to 8 inches. Castle Rock, though, nothing to shake a stick at. I could still see another 3 to 6 inches by tomorrow morning out of that. So a lot of the models are kind of going with the lower end of that, 3 to 4 inches. But if you get a little bit colder, you get a little bit more snowfall. The higher end is you could wake up with an additional 6 inches on top of what you already have on the ground right now. So I've heard, reports in Castle Rock anywhere between 3 to 5 inches on the ground already, depending on where you are. And, my place, we've got an inch if we're lucky. So we're getting kind of shorted on the snow out
you're
here.
jealous, huh? A little jealous of
Oh
us in
yeah,
the rock?
absolutely.
That's
I miss being right up against the foothills there where you get that upslope and you get a little more snow out of it.
So any questions for John, feel free to ask. I got another one for you. So it looks like we have is it like a slight warm-up and then another storm you're saying is coming after that?
Yeah, and warm up is going to be a big statement, but basically this thing is going to, the snow we're seeing this morning into tomorrow is going to be done probably Tuesday morning-ish. We'll probably get a little bit of clearing through the day Tuesday and a little bit on Wednesday where the temperatures will go up a little bit, but by Wednesday evening, that's when that next storm starts to blow in and affect the area. So, we're still working out the details on the timing of that, but it's looking like kind of a Wednesday, Thursday, maybe into Friday morning type thing. So yeah, that's more cold air, more snow. So enjoy I think the 40s we're going to get to in Tuesday and Wednesday before all this stuff moves back in.
No. All right. What do you think the lows are going to hit back then? So still keep the sprinklers off.
Oh yeah. And with the moisture we're getting, you're not going to need them anyway for, at least this week and next week, a couple weeks. Like I've said before, my rule of thumb is like mid to late May. That's when things start growing and the temperatures get warmer. And that's really the key is if you've got good moisture in the springtime like we've had, there's really not a good reason to turn them on unless you just throwing water out there. But, Tuesday morning, tomorrow morning, still going to be very cold. I saw Castle Rock got down to about 13 degrees last night, 13, 14 degrees on most of the stations. It will be that cold, if not maybe a degree or two colder tonight going into Tuesday morning. So still very, very cold, hard freeze conditions for sure.
What's your best guess for snow? I know it's kind of far out still, but on the second round, does it look like it's going to have a decent amount of moisture or no?
Yeah, this is another kind of, it looks similar to this one almost, where you've got the cold air coming down from the north. We already have colder air here, but you got another reinforcing shot, and you got moisture coming up of the southwest. But this one looks a little bit better organized, and of course, the models will jump back and forth on where it actually sets up in eastern Colorado. But like the European model, which is one that we look at kind of a little bit further out, tends to be a little bit more accurate. If I had to ballpark a range for that, I'd say 4 to 8 inches out of that is possible, maybe slightly more. And the trend on all of these models in the last couple of days has been going upwards with snow. So, we could throw out that number right now. It's probably going to change, but right now, all the models are just kind of slightly ticking that thing up a little bit each time we see them. So definitely worth watching.
So we have one comment about trees are starting to bud and bloom and things like that. So we'll need to make sure we have our brooms handy, I'm sure, as well. And what about covering plants, things like that are starting to bloom?
Yeah, definitely when it's this cold out, you're wanting to cover those up. Now, interestingly enough, if they get buried in snow, they're actually going to be just fine. The snow actually sort of acts like an insulator. So what really is going to kill your plants is just, buds and leaves being exposed to that really bitter, bitter cold air. But if you put a pot over them, you put a blanket over them, or even if you put snow over them, that will keep them from getting hit too hard with that cold air.
And what about any allergy updates? Is that something that you keep an eye on?
I know they've been hitting me hard this week.
Yeah, no, I feel the same. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people have. Things are going to start blooming and there's going to be a lot of stuff in the air, but I don't know. This is my personal experience and I don't know if there's any science behind it, but when we have a wetter spring where we're getting continuous snow or rain like this, I tend to have a better allergy year just because every couple of days you're getting something that's getting all the pollen out of the air and getting all the dust out of the air and the grass. I know I tend to have really tough springs when it's dry out because you get a lot of wind, things blow around, the pollen comes out, the buds come out, and it's just blowing everywhere. So hopefully with this week, things will calm down a little bit. I know like today my allergies are a little bit better than they were yesterday, and they're definitely better than where they were over the weekend. So hopefully with the moisture, we'll temper that down. I know there's a couple of the Weather Service things where they've got like pollen counts and pine trees and all that stuff. I think the Weather Channel has something like that, a map where they actually track that. So don't know what that is off the top of my head. I just know in the last few days my allergies have been going nuts.
Yeah. And it's hard now is with all this COVID stuff going around, not to keep bringing that up, but it's I think it freaks a lot of people out because a lot of times you are seeing those allergy symptoms, but you're like, oh no.
And the big one is shortness of breath because a lot of people, the COVID symptoms, one of the big ones is shortness of breath, but with allergies, a lot of people report it as well. So, I mean, I'm no doctor or anything, but, I have that too. And the big tip off, at least from what I've seen is, the itchy, runny nose, itchy, watery eyes, things like that. From what I've seen, that's not a symptom of COVID-19. So if you're experiencing a lot of these other things and you're not getting hit as hard and you're wondering if you have it, man, if your eyes are red and itchy and watering and just your head's going crazy, more than likely that's allergies. But yeah, it is kind of scary how similar some of the symptoms can be between the two, for sure.
Right on. And we got a handful of people, quite a few people that just joined. Can you do one last quick recap of what we can expect out of the current storm, and then also what you're seeing for the future storm one more time?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're just tuning in, we got more snow in the forecast this afternoon into tomorrow morning. There's a winter weather advisor out. It does include Castle Rock, includes a lot of the Palmer Divide for up to an additional 4 to 8 inches of snow through tomorrow morning. So some areas will see the lower end, some areas will see the higher end, but that's going to be additional on top of what you have on the ground right now. We get a little bit of clearing later in the day, Tuesday into Wednesday, and then we have another storm system moving in sometime around Wednesday night, Thursday morning. That one's looking a little bit more organized from what we're seeing. It's going to be another shot of cold air. It's going to be another shot of snow, and we could be picking up about the same amount of snow or maybe even slightly more if things continue the way we're seeing them on the models. So more cold, more unsettled, more wet weather through the rest of this week. And then by weekend, hopefully we're going to start clearing out, warming up a little bit. So yeah, definitely an active week ahead.
Awesome. Well, appreciate the update. Last comment
Absolutely.
is thank you, John. You are a rock star. And that's you
I'll get my guitar out.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it.
Cool.
Always appreciate it.
Yeah, so I dropped a link to your Facebook page. If you haven't followed John's Facebook page yet, make sure you do. I'll just look at the description. And I misspelled your last name. I forgot the K at the end of it in the hashtag. So my bad.
That's all right. But you're getting there. You muted me last time and didn't mute me this time.
At least
but
we can
missed
hear
the
you.
K.
Yeah. But scroll down, you'll see the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/ MTN Wave WXJB.
Yeah, sounds good.
John's a tech guy, so that's why his handles are all weird. So
At least they're not binary.
yeah, there you go. Cool. All right, brother. Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to update us. We had a lot of people asking about some weather updates, but John updates his page a lot more frequently, so be sure to follow that as well. And then every now and then I'm like, hey, John, can you come join me on CRCO?
Yep. Always happy to come on.
He does, yeah, so I appreciate it.
Awesome.
All right, brother.
Well, take care, Sean. Stay warm, stay safe.
Yeah, thanks again.
Take care.
See you, everyone.